Put your hands up in the air. Oh, we're singing, it's the Jesus workout. You gotta get your life alive with it. Come on, give Jesus some praise. He's good, he's good, he's good, and he loves you. You can have a seat. Jesus went off into the wilderness, and people still followed him out there. Why? Because he had something they were looking for, but they didn't know what it was. I want to tell you, you've got that here in your spirit. When you said yes to Jesus, the Bible says God put his spirit in you. And this morning, my heart's desire is to see our church, the church, raise a generation of world changers who stand countercultural to what's going on, who's not influenced by peer pressure. You know, peer pressure is one of the greatest attacks of the enemy on this generation. And here's why. Because the devil is fighting for your identity. Everyone say identity. The devil is after your identity, kids. He wants to tell you you're not valuable unless someone else says you are. He wants to tell you you're not cool unless you dress like this, unless you act like this, unless you walk this. He wants you to find your identity in what other people say and think about you, so that you will live your whole life in fear of what other people think. And when you live in fear, you won't live in faith, and you'll never unleash what God put inside of you. Do you know why? Do you know why the Bible says the devil comes to steal, to kill, and destroy? Because he was in heaven with God, and he knows the nature of God, and he knows that God says you've been made in his image, and you've got his spirit. So he knows what's in you. And that's why he fights so hard for you to not understand. Fights so hard for our kids when they get to 15, 16, 17 to fall away. Why do they fall away? Because they don't know who they are. Because they don't know what God put in them. And it's our responsibility as the church, as mums, as dads, to live a life where we know who we are. So our kids will look at the legacy we leave and go, I want to go after that. This is the privilege we get as believers, to walk out what Jesus gave us. Sing with me. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, oh, I'm free. Jump up, turn around and sing with me. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, oh, I'm free. Yeah. But what it means is, if I understand that what Jesus did for me means I don't have to be afraid anymore, it means that I don't live by how I feel anymore. When you understand the law, that God's spirit, God's nature, what Jesus has done trumps, it's a law. Every time it works, that it conquers fear. Every time. You'll stop living in fear because, you know, today, even though I feel like fear is coming against me, I know that if God be for me, who can be against me? I know Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon. How many weapons? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Nothing. No bully at school can make you have a bad day. Listen to me. Nobody can steal your value. Nobody coming up to you and saying, you're an idiot. I don't like you. You're no good. Nothing they say will change what God said about you.